Man wants to put a face to everything. And the reason why I can't stop is because every time I look at something, it means something to me, or I see a deeper into it because somebody else has done it first. And I saw what he saw because I was watching and minding my own business. Therefore, I was able to remember the members of us, our brains, our arms, our nose, our eyes. See, like, you see, the whole thing is the K. I'm going to try and show you, so I must show you how this works, okay? Now, here's the K, right? There's the M. Oh, you can't see the M? Hold on. See the road? You see? The road on the bottom is the K, so that's the road of life. The V is the life. That's one V. Now, in between those spots where you see there, those spots are connections we have. As we have one life, we have two directions. So you see, and it also looks like the wolf. And this also, if you design it further and further and further and further, everything comes together. Okay, so far we got to this. You ready? Are you ready? I'm just designing. I'm off by a little bit. Something's off. I'm going to figure it out. I don't know which way it goes. Okay, now I'm going to explain to you what this is. Okay, this is a Magen David. To make the Magen David, you need the M and the K. You have to put the M on the K on the top of each other. Then you have to do an outline inside of it. And you have to close off each triangle for its own space, because you don't want anything just floating in space, so you cover it up. So it looks like the ears of the wolf. And the mouth looks like the bottom. So therefore you have the V, which looks like the bottom of the mouth or the nose of the wolf. And the bottom part is the road that man is traveling on. If we're cunning enough to learn the road of the wolf, to understand how it works, I can show you. Thus, I'm going to show you back the old picture because now none of my pens work. I got 500 pens and nothing's working. Stick with me. Might be a little bit boring, but you know, sometimes, okay, so what you got here, oh, my video's out. What do you got here? You got the K. It looks like a 5, right? Because you know the 5. See the 5? Where is it? You see the 5 in the middle there, the pound key? Well, that pound key is the 9 tries that man went up the plate before he was able, one of the guys was able to complete the day 6 so he can get rest. So 5 is in the middle. Okay, you understand what the 5 is all about? Fire. Fire him, because 5 is alive. And if the 5 makes it home in 10, and he makes it home in 9, he doesn't have to start over at 0 again. He can continue to 11. Because if you add it all up, everything comes out to 11. In order to get 10, you need 11. Thus, the difference is 10% of your brain that you need for the connection with the spirit, that you need to connect to the angel in heaven. And when you connect to the angel in heaven, he is 100% of his story. You are 10% of your story. Together, you are 110% of the TQS, the Mouton Noir of the TV5. 5 alive. Is that why they're on channel 5 is alive and 5 is the fire? The Mouton Noir. If the Mouton wouldn't go into the shit, he wouldn't be noir. That's why when he blah blah blahs, he blahs like everybody else, but he looks like a nigger. Because a nig is a digger. Nye, the Nile. The N is a connection. The I is the robot. The 2 G's are of God on both sides of the board. The E is of the man. The R is if you take the different roads, you come out to the same thing because we're in the real world. That's the reason for the word nigger. And it's us that are stupid because it is the nigger who found the God. Look at my face. Am I white or am I black? because without going down there where I wasn't, I went down there because I was, because everybody pushed me down there, because the color of my skin is based on by how people treat you in the E-world, because that's what you turn into most of the time. No matter how hard you try, they knock you down and take everything away from you. You're a nigger and you're a slave, and you work for the government. But you know what? That's why the Twin Towers came down, because two brothers have two colors, and you have to see the true colors of the two colors, and that's why the Twin Towers came down. And Nostradamus knew that, man, one day, black and white as it started out to color, man only sees color. He forgets about the black and white, but it's the black and white that brought out all the color. Because without black and white, you'd have no color and it'd all be clear. And if it was all clear, everything would be so much brighter. And then I would look so much different. And eventually we'd blend into the light if we're pure enough with the light. And eventually you wouldn't see us at all. But if we were not pure and it was dark, then what would happen? We would just disappear into the dark. So your story would go nowhere. So you see the white of the light and the outline in the background. So if you know the outline to the whole story, you know more of the story. So this is the story I have to tell you. It's all up to you to decide. Throw the dice. Day, death. D to say. Day for two. Day for the day we have to do it. Because we do it all in one day. We started something. Let's finish it. It took us how many days? It took us 9. It took us how many men? 9. Usual baseball today is 9, but T-ball is 7, and it is fair because all 9 men go to the plate. Regardless of who goes out, everybody gets to play, and that is what fair is all about. And it ends in a tie because it's fair. Fair is fair, and if it ends in a tie, just be fair and accept it the way it is. Why do we have to battle it out to the end? Because the only time there is an end to the story is when there is only one winner. And that's not the way it is, because with one winner, we do not have our family. I have no angel. I have no God. So, therefore, God would be 7, and that would be gone, and that would be 14. And then the other 7 would be gone, and that would leave me at 7. What would I do with 7? 7 and 4, 11. Man all alone with himself on earth is only 7, and his birthday, and his perfect number of 4 for the 4 balls to get to the base to play. 4 and 7 is 11. Wow, now we know what man in the game of blackjack and roulette and craps is all about. The game of craps is crap for the man who was never found, for he was the 4 of the 7 of who he was, because him is 7, God is 7, the angel is 7, being all together is 1, make 21. Alone he was blackjack in the game, but they knocked him down to be lonely again. So 7 of what he started with, to 4 of who he is given on earth, he now is 11. So what we think is so beautiful as 7-11 is a dip on earth to help us out where we can get what we want. Well, you're just knocking me out. You see the dark and the bright, or the clear. Does anybody clear on the whole story now? Why I'm here? I'm here to tell you the story. And that's the story of man. And I have a few more anecdotes to add on in, but it'll be by the time. But please do not wait. 1300 hours is the call. 1 o'clock changes. We overlap the lunch for both sides to give a chance to both sides. 12. That's the angel coming down to help you. Lunch is of the angels because it counts for 1 separated between the 1 hour after the morning 12 hours and the 1 hour going into the afternoon 12 hours. That is the 1 of all. That's why the 1 on the phone has no letters. It needs no letters because it's there for the calling. Once you know it starts, nobody works. And once you know it ends, so you know both sides. So that's the ace. So now we can overlap, and that's the reason we have 12 and 13. Because the ace overlaps. That's why you get paid 1.5 times in blackjack. That's why on the 21st, when it ends my birthday, and it's supposed to all happen on my birthday, it has to be perfect. Well, you know blackjack pays 1.5, so I have to give everybody half. Half more. I got half more. I'm just going to give it back. I'm going to share. So half is half. Half of the time is 12. 12 would be lunch. My angel would come down. We can talk to him. We can talk it over with him if he's okay with it. If it comes to 1, everybody will hear the lightning and the thunder, but it will be great. But if nobody hears it, oh my God, for who the bell will toll? It'll toll for man. The secret is out. Man knows the greatest secret of life. What's he going to do about it now that he knows? Now that you know, what are you going to do about it? That's what everybody says to you. You see the black and white of the story? The white is the silent. The black is the talking. Sometimes silent people say nothing, with no expression, as the bulb that just goes around and it gives you light. Although it's bright, it says nothing. But the mouth that moves all the time is actually what you want to listen to when you didn't listen to it in the first place, because he had a big mouth. M-O-U-T-H. O-U-T. Out of the house. Outhouse. Mouse. Don't you see? The man had a big mouth. The M is a connection. The connection says, hey, O-U-T, O-U-T of heaven. The M of the top of your connection is going out of heaven because you have a big mouth. And that's the end of this video. And make sure you don't have a big mouth. And decide on your own, but you can share it with others. And let them decide. And between the two, you can make the better of this. And then you can tell me what I'm missing. Because I'd like to know what's missing in the story. If you can tell me what's missing in my soup. Because it's my soup. My soup is my story. And what I put in it is my business. Because I'm going to eat my soup. I will invite you over. Thus, I will make sure that it will not salt it too much. Although salt is good. It heals the wound. Too much salt will kill you like the oceans. So remember the sea. That's why they want the sea salt. So what you see is sometimes good, and what you miss is sometimes not what you're missing. And that is what you lack. And in French, the lac is the lake, and that is the water of purity. So you always have to go back to the lake, or the water of purification, to figure out what this whole game and direction is all about. So now you know a few more details. There are many, many, many. I mean, for all the time of man, if there were only a few, they put together the pieces. 1,000 or 2,000 or 3,000. But we have 26 letters that we can double up and stretch them out as long as we want. We have numbers that add up to 10 because we can count the 0 now because it goes somewhere. As long as it goes somewhere, it has a reason. So you find a reason for that. But that only works in heaven. The 0 works here in Canada. The 0 works before the 1. In heaven, it works on both sides of the 1. Because the 0 counts, no matter where you put it. That's what gives you all the numbers. Doesn't matter what the number says. If the number says 1 or 0, 0 or 1, we won't go too far with the matter, because if 1 is on one side, 1 is on the other side, they're both 1. But 1 is above, 1 is below. 1 is above, 1 is below, 1 is there, 1 is there. That's the 4 directions. All the 1, all of you, 1 for all and all for 1, because once you know 1 of all and all of 1, everybody knows all. Once you know the 4 directions, we know it all. And we know it all. And we know too much. So we got to pay attention to listen to the others, and I won't forget. Because for 4, the man of 4, if I don't get it, then I can't be the man of 4. Thus, my memory must be good. For I'm the man of 4, so I should never forget. Because what I want is to get it right. So the choice of all is to get it right. So to get it right, you must not forget the basic 4 rules. So if you want to know the name of the son of the man of God, my name might just be 4. Cat, show. Backwards, it's a tack or a point on me. Tack, pans, T-A-C-P-A-N-S. 2 years ago, I started off with 2 cats to help somebody. I got 3. Now I got 14. They tell the tale of the story. I got the cats. I'm tack pans because I am a cat. In French, I'm Monsieur Cat Cat. Cat, et cat, c'est 8. 8, c'est l'éternité. 8 is forever, 9 is perfect man. In the E-world, everything means something somewhere. You got to know where to put it. It's your turn to put it somewhere. This is one of my final transmissions. In fact, they're all my final transmissions. Because I don't know any more than what I say. And if I know it, I'm coming back today to tell it to you. If you want to know more, ask me the question. Obviously, everybody has to ask me the same question. I'm going to have to put out a survey and only choose certain ones. Because I only can do too much with 2 hands and 1 brain and a mind. But because if I take too much in my hands at one time, I won't get anything right. Everything will be a mess. And that's the way the people are, a mess. And I want to put you in order. So I'll take you one at a time. And you all have to be patient. Because I'll be patient for you if you're patient with me. And at the end, we're all happy. And that's the point of the whole story. And that's the point of the I robot, of the I God, who created the whole system. This is coming from part of the matrix. It's going into the matrix.